This episode is brought to you by freedadcourse.com. You are always one conversation away from changing your life, and the power of hello is something that I subscribe to every single day, and I'm always saying hello to new people everywhere I go. Increasing your opportunity, increasing your connection, and getting access to the solutions to the problems that you are facing, whether you're on active duty or just beginning your veteran transition or even transitioning out for 20 years. On the other side of hello are the solutions that you're looking for. Again, head on over to freedadcourse.com. Get your 5-episode audio course to create more connection, create more friendships, and get back to living the life that you're trying to design.
Dory 1, this is Fire Team Delta. Dad's coming home.
Welcome to the Military Veteran Dad Podcast, where it is our mission to bring every dad home. I am your host, Ben Killoy. I'm a United States Marine veteran, husband, and a father. We will bring authentic conversations to inspire action in your life so we can close the gap between the dad you are today and the dad you want to be tomorrow. This is the Military Veteran Dad Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Fatherhood Friday. Guys, it is 2021. This is the first Fatherhood Friday of the year. The week is already proving to be a challenging week already in 2021. It's kind of an interesting week because Monday, kids went back to school. I was like, wow, this was a really great day. Tuesday comes around, we're right back into the thick of emotions and just high-strung, everything going around. So if you're out there doing the virtual just like I am, I commend you and know we're in it together. You're not alone. Whatever you're feeling, you're probably feeling it just like I am. But that's not what this week's episode is about. This week's episode is about something that I learned, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 years ago. I don't remember where I learned it, but man, did it change how I used my vacation. So we'll rewind a little bit back to 2020. Most people, when I run into them or I'm talking with them, they'll mention, oh, I just had to burn up a bunch of my vacation because if I didn't use it, I would lose it. And they would just empty all of their vacation. They would empty and show clear right at the end, either take the Christmas off or take some time before, whatever it may be, they had to take however much vacation they did to make sure they didn't lose any. Now, that was a problem that was predictable, but like work, and if you have a corporate job, then you know, oftentimes in the thick, you're like, gosh, this just is not a good time to go on vacation. There's a lot of different times to go on vacation, but I am positive this is not one of them. And when I was in this mindset, because I was right there with them, because everybody throughout, any given month throughout the year, especially as summer comes around, my family is always home, the kids are home, my wife's home. And every time I was like, oh man, summer's here. We should be doing a vacation. We should be doing something cool. But I'd look back at my schedule and I'm like, oh my gosh, work is so overwhelming. I can't even imagine taking a week off right now because man, then I would be behind 3 weeks. And you know what I didn't do? I did not take vacation. Or if I did, I would do 1 or 2 days here. It was mediocre at best, and it just was never that fruitful. But a mindset that shifted the entire problem was switching it to, and it's January, so that's why the purpose of this podcast episode is coming out. Look at all your vacation, whether you have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Where I recently was let go last year, I had 5 weeks, so my problem was pretty big because if I didn't use up a 5 weeks vacation, I was going to lose it. So when you're in January, schedule all of your vacation. Maybe leave like 2 or 3 days left just for randomness. And even if you do schedule them all, you can easily pull them back depending on whatever life throws at you, whatever you need to pivot. But it's important to get at least 80 to 90% of your vacation booked. Now, Ben, you're like thinking, why is he telling me to do this? Because why would I schedule my vacation? Sometimes I'm not even that far planning out. I'm lucky if I'm in 1 week ahead. You're telling me to plan out for something in October that I don't even know about? Yes, that is exactly what I'm telling you to do. Because let me tell you what happens when you do schedule your vacation in January versus July or June, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're right back at this moment again. Summer's here. I only get 18 summers with my kids. They're almost gone, and I still feel like I have all this work to do. There's no way we can fit in an amazing vacation. It's a routine that happened over and over in my life. But when you switch to scheduling your vacation in January, here's what happens. Work comes around, someone comes into your office, and you say, or they say, I need you to do this big project, or we got this big project coming up. And then you go to your calendar and you're like, oh, wait, I got vacation there. I can't say yes to this guy's big project. Or if I'm scheduling my own work, I'm like, oh, I got this vacation I've got to plan. Or maybe I need to make sure I'm saving the money for that vacation. That's also another reason why a lot of people don't take vacation. So scheduling it allows you to start planning for it, start saving for it, making sure it happens. But the simple idea is, instead of letting your vacation get fit into your work schedule, you actually build your work schedule around your vacation. And once you make that pivot to letting your vacation get worked around instead of worked into, everything becomes possible. Because in June comes around, your mind has been building up to this vacation the entire year. It's known about it. And you probably have subconsciously haven't said yes to as many things as you might normally have had you not had that vacation there. And you have this nice little oasis within the summer of, this is going to happen because I've been planning for it for 3 to 4 months. There's no way I'm not going to let this happen. And so unless something drastically happens at work, this vacation is going to happen with a high degree of certainty. And the excitement that comes in January when you think of, wow, this vacation is going to be awesome. And I did this when we went on a 7-day vacation to Fort Myers, Florida. It was the first time we went on an airplane. It was first for a lot of different things. But I planned it way back in January, and it felt so great to run into it when July came around. Everything about it, I was looking forward to it. There was no anxiety with work, because here's something else that we don't often think about, but luckily I was thinking about it in this mode, is when someone comes into your office and they say, hey, can you do this? Almost instantly, I say, yeah, that sounds good, because in my head, yeah, that sounds good. I don't think there's anything going on there. Or someone comes to your office and you're like, oh, there's no way I can get that done. And you're just like, man, it doesn't seem possible, because in the next 3 weeks, maybe your inbox is going to explode and you feel anxiety over the next 3 weeks. But you know what happens when you book vacation in January? Everything seems possible, because very few businesses are planning projects or even what you're going to be working on way so far now in advance. If they are, it's most likely looking like, oh, that's going to be a simple project, and you can work around it, or you can schedule your vacation around it if they do have that going out there. But every month or every week or every idea really seems possible when you schedule a vacation in January. And then you also avoid getting to December, having vacation regret or workaholic regret, and thinking, gosh, I worked too much. And the proof is that I'm going into the year or ending the year with more vacation in the bank. And that vacation could have created some amazing memories with my kids. And now the year's over, and maybe you're shooting yourself that I should have done this, I should have done that. And maybe you're going into Christmas season of just feeling like, man, I didn't spend a lot of time with my family. 2021 rolls around and the cycle repeats. Well, let 2021 be the year that this changes, because now you've got the advice. You're now awakened to this idea of letting your work run into your vacation and never letting your work get in the way of vacation, because I scheduled my vacation in January where my work calendar seemed extremely empty. I didn't have anything going on. I didn't have work trips. I didn't have a business trip. I didn't have any of that on my calendar when I booked in January. Versus in May, it's probably filled with meetings. It's probably filled with trips around the country. Maybe if that still works within the Corona for 2021, but going on, that advice is, so many dads out there get stuck with their calendar and business trips. If your vacation's already on your calendar, there's no way you're going to book a business trip, because you're already excited and you've been working on it for 3 to 4 months. There's no way you're going to say no to that vacation. So to wrap it all up, to keep it short, schedule your vacation, to get it to 90% where you have all the days off. Create a plan, because once you create a plan, you can execute it. And as a military dad, you already know when you have a plan, you can execute it, and you can plan for it, and you can create contingencies. But if you don't have a plan, your plan would fail. And that's what happens for many dads, including myself, until I was able to switch to this mindset. And even me now, without a job and as an entrepreneur, I have this plan that's going to happen where we're going on a 2-week vacation to Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And this is going to be the 2-week vacation that I've been dreaming about for 4 to 5 years now. Ever since I really got awakened to this idea of entrepreneurship, I've dreamed about when kids are out, when my wife's out, I want to unplug, I want to go out and have an awesome trip and just be dad, be with the family, create amazing memories. That's happening in this summer. And I've got a picture that I stare at every day of the Airbnb, the pool, the mountains, all of it where I'm going. And so I'm manifesting that dream in my life every single day. I come to work and provide this podcast and all the other different things that I do. I'm manifesting that dream to make sure it happens. So even if you're an entrepreneur listening to this podcast, the advice still applies. And it's probably even more pertinent because if you're an entrepreneur doing it all, it's even harder to understand how to take a break, because if you're on break, most entrepreneurs, the whole business stops, and that's scary. So right now, you became an entrepreneur to create freedom in your life, most likely. That's usually a common theme that most entrepreneurs want. Schedule freedom in your life with family when everything seems possible in life. Your inbox isn't overloaded. Do it in January. Get that plan set in place and make it epic. Make 2021 the rebound year from the horrible 2020 that we had, where we all had to stay inside. We all had to find crazy ways to stay entertained. Let 2021 be that place where you go into the year, you have a plan, and you know your family and you are going to create some amazing memories, and you are not going to be that guy at the end of December of 2021 with vacation in the bank because you listened to this podcast and you took action and you scheduled all your vacation plans in January, and you let your work run in to your vacation. With that, I am signing off, and I will be back to you guys again on Monday.